YouTube पर एक स्मूथ लाइव स्ट्रीम को कर सकते हैं। इसके बाद आपको ऑप्शन मिलेगा रीस्केल आउटपुट, आपको इसे डिसेबल ही रहने देना है। इसके नीचे आपको यहाँ पर रेट कंट्रोल का ऑप्शन दिखाई देता है, आपको इसे CBR ही सिलेक्टेड रहने देना है। इसके बाद यहाँ पर जो बिट रेट है उसके अंदर आपको कुछ चेंजेस करने पड़ेंगे, जैसे कि अगर आप YouTube या फिर फेसबुक या फिर कहीं पर भी 720p या फिर 180p में लाइव स्ट्रीम करना चाहते हैं तो आपको मिनिमम यहाँ पर 4500 आपको रखना चाहिए kbps। बिट रेट में 4500 सिलेक्ट करने के बाद आपको इसके अंदर और कोई चेंज नहीं, क्लिक करना है रिकॉर्डिंग्स के ऊपर। अगर आप OBS स्टूडियो से स्क्रीन रिकॉर्डिंग भी करना चाहते हैं तो यहाँ पर आप सिलेक्ट
May we request the distinguished dignitaries to occupy the dais, please? Dr. R. Sriram, founder and chairman of CSIR Spring Holding Company, Shri Ujjwal Kanti Bhattacharya, Dr. Choklingam Karpaya and Mr. K.S. Giridharan, we request you to occupy the dais, please. Good afternoon. We welcome the Honorable Union Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and other dignitaries for the RISE Conclave 2026. Good afternoon. We welcome the Honorable Union Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and other dignitaries for the RISE Conclave 2026. Good afternoon. We extend a very cordial welcome to the inaugural function of the Research Industry Startup Entrepreneurship Conclave 2026 that brings together the Institutes of Science and Technology Ministry, industry leaders, academia, startups, and entrepreneurs to showcase their innovations and collaborate to promote startup culture for Viksit Bharat.
नमस्कार, हम ये अनुसंधान उद्योग स्टार्टअप उद्यमिता सम्मेलन 2024 के उद्घाटन समारोह में आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं.
May we request the audience to rise for the invocation, the Tamil Thai Varthu.
Thank you all. Please be seated. May I now invite Dr. K.J. Sriram, Scientist H and former Director CSIR CLRA, to welcome the august gathering.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister for Science and Technology, Distinguished Secretary Earth Sciences, Secretary Scientific and Industrial Research and DG CSIR, respected Vice Chancellors, leaders of the Indian manufacturing sector, dedicated incubator leaders, innovative startup founders, bright students, researchers, industry pioneers, and fellow colleagues. A warm welcome to all of you at this vibrant research industry startup and entrepreneurship conclave, RISE 2026 in Tamil Nadu, which has been organized by the 3 national laboratories and 5 regional research centers of the CSIR here. Today, we bridge the worlds of cutting-edge research from the labs under DSIR, MOES, BIRAC, DST, industry expertise, bold startups, and youthful entrepreneurial spirit to ignite India's deep tech revolution. Your presence from the policymakers shaping the future to the visionaries in academia, hands-on incubators nurturing great ideas, trailblazing startups, and eager students ready to innovate makes this gathering truly transformative. Together, let's forge a partnership, transfer technologies, and propel India's journey to a Viksit Bharat by 2047. On a personal note, I have been pushing for this conclave for almost 1 year, and we at CSIR Tamil Nadu have actually moved from being the organizers of the 2nd CSIR startup to the 5th, which clearly indicates how much CSIR laboratories are pushing forward to support the tech-led startup culture in the country. I thank DG CSIR and the Honorable Minister for this encouragement and the support that we are receiving for this 5th CSIR Startup Conclave which in short, we call it RISE 2026. Thank you all for joining us, and may I place my special thanks to the Honorable Minister for taking out time to be with us today. Let's the collaborations begin. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Union Minister of State, Independent Charge for Science and Technology, Earth Sciences, and Minister of State for Prime Minister Office, Personal Public Grievances and Pensions, Atomic Energy and Space, and Vice President CSIR.
Thank you, sir. We now invite Dr. K. Ramesha, Director, CSIR SICRI, to give a traditional welcome to Dr. Chokkalingam Karupaya, Chief Science and Technology Officer, Ohmium International Inc., and Founder and Chief Nurturer, Vetri Labs.
We now invite Dr. N. Anandavali, Director, CSIR Structural Engineering Research Institute, to welcome Shri Ujwal Kanti Bhattacharya, Managing Director, Stake Energy Services Private Limited, former Director and Board Member, NTPC.
We now request Dr. P. Thanike Director, CSIR CLRI, to welcome Dr. R. Sriram, Founder and Chairman, Sai Supreme Holding Company, Pondicherry, in a traditional way with an Angavastram.
We now request Dr. K.J. Sriram, Scientist Head, CSIR CLRI, to give a traditional welcome to Mr. S. Giridharan, Executive Vice President and Head, Domestic Water Effluent Treatment, L&T.
Thank you. May I now invite Dr. N. Anandavalli, Director, CSIR SERC, to present an overview of the conclave, please.
Honorable Union Minister of State for Science and Technology, Earth Sciences and MOS for PMO, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, respected Secretary MOES, Dr. Ravichandran Ji, beloved DG CSIR and Secretary DSIR, Dr. HLV Ji, Bhattacharya Ji, Chokkalingam Ji, and Dr. Sriram Ji and Giridharan Ji. And distinguished dignitaries on the dais, invited guests, industry leaders, startups, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen, Vanakkam and Namaskar. With the visionary guidance of our Honorable Minister to convene regional startup conclaves through a whole of government for whole of society approach, CSIR is proud to organize the Research Industry Startup and Entrepreneurship RISE Conclave here in Chennai. This is the 5th edition following the successful conclaves at Jammu, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Lucknow. RISE Conclave is merely not an event. It is a strategic platform aligned with the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Vikshit Bharat. It brings together research institutions, industry, startups, academia, and policymakers to accelerate technology transfer, commercialization, and indigenous innovation. It strengthens flagship national missions such as Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India, Digital India, and Startup India by ensuring that the publicly funded research translates into measurable societal and economic impact. Tamil Nadu has built a vibrant innovation ecosystem supported by the Ministries of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences. RISE Conclave 2026 in Chennai aims to deepen partnerships among CSIR, DSIR, MOES, DST, DBT institutions, industries, MSME startups, and universities. Today, we are exchanging umbrella MOUs between CSIR and 12 reputed academic institutions, formalizing a collaborative model where CSIR provides technology strength and universities nurture startup incubation ecosystem. We have also organized a thematic expo featuring 100+ stalls under 7 focus areas: Green Horizons, Foundations of Progress, Advanced Materials and Design, From Farm to Future, Resources for a Better Tomorrow, Life Sciences and Medical Innovation, the digital core. Through keynote addresses, panel discussions, industry talks, student startup competitions, and interactive sessions with honorable minister and industry leaders, this two-day conclave aims to inspire innovation and create tangible partnership. The true outcome of this conclave will not be measured merely by discussions, but by the technology transfers, startups strengthened, and jobs created. I conclude with a timeless Thirukural, Porul Karivi Kalam Vinayidanoda Aindum, Irul Dire Ennichayal. It reminds us that success comes when we act after careful consideration of 5 essentials: resources, tools, timing, the nature of the task, and the right place. With these aligned, doubt disappears and achievement follows. Let this conclave be that thoughtful action towards a developed and self-reliant India. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now invite Dr. K. Ramesha, Director CSIR SICRI, to speak on the significance of the Industry Institute Academia partnership.
Most respected Honorable Union Minister of State for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences and Vice President of CSIR, Dr. Jiten Singh Ji, respected M. Chandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, respected Dr. N. Kallai Selvi, Secretary, DSIR and Director General CSIR, guests from industries, academia and startups, fellow directors, students, participants and friends from press and media, Vanakkam. Namaskar. The main objective of RISE conclave is to strengthen the partnership between research institutes such as CSIR, DSIR, MOES, DSCDBT with industry including startups, MSMEs, and similarly strengthen the collaboration between the research institute and the academic institutions and their incubation ecosystems. And today there are 120 stalls. Out of that, 100 industries and startups participating in this expo. We have categorized these stalls into 7 themes, as Dr. Anandwal Madam already explained. So good number of startups are participating under each theme. Just give in numbers. Green Horizons, Clean Energy and Environment, we have 27 startups count. Foundation in Progress, Civil Infrastructure and Urban Planning, 13. Theme 3, Advanced Materials and Design, Next Generation Leather and Lifestyle Materials, 17 startups. Theme 4, From Farm to Future, Agriculture and Food Solutions, 10. Theme 5, Resources for Better Tomorrow, Minerals, Metals and Manufacturing Strength, 8. Theme 6, Life Sciences and Medical Innovations, Pharma and Healthcare, 13. Theme 7, the digital core, AI, semiconductors and electronics, 12 startups. And other than this, the government research institutes, other than CSIR, DSIR, 3 stalls, NIOT 3 stalls, Institute of Mathematical Sciences 1, IGCAR 2, ARCI, that is the DST Institute 1 and IMD 1. Along with this, academic institutes with their incubators, 5, VIT, Crescent, Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Karunya Incubation Park, Karpagam Academy of Higher Education and Coimbatore, and then whole CSR laboratories. So together we have 120 stalls. And as Dr. Anandwali Madam already explained, today we also have umbrella MOUs are being signed between CSIR and academia and their incubators. And under this framework, CSR will act as a technology provider, while universities will facilitate incubation support and entrepreneurial development, thereby creating a mutually beneficial innovation partnership model. Today, we are also going to sign up few MOUs between CSR laboratories and startups and industries. So we are confident that the 2-day event will emerge as a fruitful amalgamation, resulting in joint accelerated efforts towards Viksit Bharat. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. We now move to the inaugural address. May I now invite Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, to deliver the inaugural address.
Respected Honorable Union Minister of Science and Technology, Earth Sciences, Department of Space, Department of Atomic Energy, and Department of Personnel and Training, and the Prime Minister's Office, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, Dr. Kalai Selvi, Director General of CSIR and Secretary DSIR, Dr. Anandavalli, Director CSIR SCRC, Dr. Ramesha, Director CSIR SICRI, Dr. P. Tanikaivelan, Director CSIR CLRI, and Dr. KJ Sriram, outstanding scientist, and other industrialists on the dais and off the dais, my colleagues from Ministry of Earth Sciences, and I could see that various vice chancellors from the various academia, industrialists, and distinguished invitees and delegates from startup, entrepreneurs, incubators, and national labs and academia, and media friends. Very good afternoon to all of you, and it is indeed a great pleasure to be here as part of this RISE conclave. And I thank the RISE organizer for inviting me for these particular occasions. When you talk about RISE, I personally feel that there are, first when you talk about the research Indian ecosystem is started with basically, primarily it is in the academia in terms of publication and other things, and most of the technology is below the TRL level 3 and 5. So we are all, research means we are thinking in terms of publication oriented. So according to my view, I think we need to change the gear from the publication oriented research to industrial or service oriented research. We need to augment, or we need to change our gear. So that is more important for the RISE. When you talk about industry, of course, long-term sustainable and also growth for the innovation, we need to make it industry. I personally feel I stands for not only industry, but also innovations. So we need to start innovations in many areas, and it is not only simple invention. Of course, we need to make how inventions make, maybe in terms of commercialization. So we need to think that level. So then only that industry will grow. And when you talk about the startup, of course, it is a breeding ground for innovations and fresh ideas. And also it is produce many solutions for various problems and employments, and attract many investments and global competitiveness. All these things comes into the startup. And finally comes in the entrepreneur. Of course, we need to conduct market research and various things, and how do we ensure various product and services in a market level and need-based. So in that way, this RISE is an important component, of course, important conclave where we can have a applied research for industry with many startups and become entrepreneur for global contributors or global solution providers. When we are thinking about Viksit Bharat, so without this RISE, of course, DICE objective, whatever the mandate for RISE, without this, we cannot go for Viksit Bharat in 2047. If you talk about the GDP will be flat without innovations. When the innovation starts, then only it goes from further, then it can go. So the curve will go up because of the innovation. So we need to think about more and more innovations. Of course, there is a change. When you talk about that, there are a lot of changes are happening, then only we have to make it. When the change is happening in financial or climate change or any change, so it will make a technological push as well as the requirement of various industry or market will be there. So we need to balance between technological push and market pull. We need to work on it. Since I come from Ministry of Earth Sciences, so we do basically a research on services in the area of atmosphere, oceanography, hydrosphere, cryosphere, and associated biosphere. In this, all the 5 spheres we study and understand how it is talking within sphere and how it is talking to other sphere. And for that, we try to make various services. One is for resources, other one is how to mitigate various natural hazards, and the last one is the sustainability. So services, sustainability, and the mitigation of various disasters or hazards, we try to work on this one. In this, there are a lot of opportunity to have a startup. If you take about the climate, there are many startup companies can come because we have a lot of data. Government is having a lot of data, but the startups can bring fast delivery of various services. If you take it a weather forecast, you can have a hyper-local forecast. Many startups can come up in US and many places, various startups have come. And also you can have a precision agriculture and also carbon accounting tools and user-specific services of many things we can bring out from the climate and weather services. And when you talk about the oceanography, blue economy is an important component. So we are looking at it, various resources from the ocean, either it is from energy or the food or it is water. All these resources are available in the ocean. How do we harness? There are technology available, but efficient technology, we need innovation so that we can have a economically benefited services for the various communities. So I look forward various groups here to think about in the ocean how we can harness resources. And also there are many technologies we require to understand the processes of various earth system. For that we need to have a more and more observational components. So if you are able to develop various observation components, that is also very important because we are importing most of the equipment in the oceanographic as well as atmospheric we are importing. So we need to develop such system. So I think our startup may pay way forward towards that, especially IoT devices and other things. So once again, for this collaborative of industry and entrepreneurs and various people are joined together, we can discuss, apart from whatever you are doing, we need to think beyond that. So the collaboration is the key for the success. We will collectively work together for the betterment of future, not only for the services, but also sustainability. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I invite Dr. N. Kalai-Chelvi, Director General CSIR and Secretary DSIR to deliver the presidential address.
Most respected and Honorable Minister of Science and Technology and the Vice President of CSIR, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, Fellow Secretary, beloved Dr. Ravichandran Ji, distinguished leaders from the industry side who are decorating the dais and giving strengths to all the research institutions and the ministries of the Government of India, my DSIR family, my CSIR family, my extended family members from other ministries, academia and industry, research scholars, the backbone of all the research institutions, the researchers, scientists, technical group officers, science and technology lovers, and the well-wishers of science and technology, press and media, Namaskar, Vanakkam, and pleasant evening to each and every one of you. Today is not just yet another day, it's a very, very special day. And in the same way, I echo the sentiments of Dr. Anandavalli. RISE Conclave 2026 is not yet another conclave, not yet another event. It is a very unique and a very special event from different angles. You can ask me why and how. I just want to take the quotes from the national leadership. Today, the national leadership has clearly made one point very, very transparent and loud and interesting to all the secretaries, which is nothing but reform, perform, transform, and inform. This is the mantra that has been given to all the secretaries by the national leadership. Meaning is we are now triggered to think about what are the reforms that could be implemented. And while implementing, how we will be able to do a better performance. How can we perform in a different way? By means of which, what kind of a transformation we can bring in to the society. If we are able to do all these things, finally, end of the day, we will be bold enough to go and meet with the society and say that we are informing you through all these things. We strictly follow this guideline because it is very meaningful and it is fully scientific, and therefore all the scientific ministries, mainly with the very gracious support that is being rendered by the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, we started thinking in a different way these days. So the reform starts from the way we work. Once upon a time, all of us used to work in silos. We used to think about our research and our research area. Now there are no longer any silos existing in any ministry or the department. Now the individuals, the PIs, the departments, the ministries, the institutions, the organizations, the academia, all of us, we started working together. And this is the first reform in our work culture and in our thought process that we have already started bringing in, because the Honorable Minister is every time insisting us that we should definitely work in consortia, in synergy with academia and industry when we represents the National Research Lab. And if you ask me if this is the only reform that you have in your mind, yes, I would say this is the major reform in our mind we have taken up to work in synergy like academia, National Research Lab and industry. And when we are working in this direction now, our R&D focus, the mandate, the research focus also, we have insisted some kind of reforms in the thought process. Once upon a time, we used to describe research as R&D, meaning is research and development. Then we started describing research as RDD, meaning is research and development for deployment. Then we started talking about RDID, meaning is research and development for innovation and deployment. Now our new slogan or the new quote is RD STIR. What is this STIR? R&D is mainly to scale up the technologies for implementation in real-time applications. Therefore, this is another very big reform that all the research community we have adopted mentally, in practice, and also through our science and technology forums. We insist that the mantra to all the researchers today is not only R&D, it is R&D STIR. So when we talk about these reforms, how are we going to perform? This kind of conclaves, RISE conclave, kind of conclaves, they only offer the platform and they only give the opportunity to perform along with each and every one, those who are sitting here. All the industry experts decorating the stage, they are decorating our research council as research council chairman. And in many cases, they are the technology stakeholders in some cases. And therefore, nowadays, the line of demarcation is very thin, that who is the technology owner, whether it is the lab or the industry or the startup or the MSME or the entrepreneur. Once upon a time, industry means it is a big industry we were talking about. But now, industry involves, it is a big parameter, it is a big canvas, it is a larger canvas, which includes startups, MSME, entrepreneur, self-help groups, and also big industries. And therefore, this RISE conclave, the aim is very, very, very clear that academia, National Research Lab, and industry, we are joining together. We are reconfirming and also we are repurposing, reorienting, redirecting our importance towards indigenous science and technology. End of the day, all the reform, perform, and transform is to inform only one point, that every technology being used by every Indian should be indigenous in nature. So if every technology is to be indigenous, it could be made possible only by all of us. And therefore, let us all take this opportunity in our favor. And the blessings are always there from the top. The best example and the best evidence and the best demonstration is Honorable Minister of Science and Technology. All the time, Sir is only giving us the motivation, guidance, support, and also idea to really come up with each time one new concept for each conclave. This is the 5th edition. Many more editions are there in the pipeline. And with every time we'll come up with a new flavor. On behalf of CSIR and on behalf of the entire Ministry of Science and Technology, I wish to thank all the industry participants as well as those who are going to showcase your accomplishments through the exhibitions. With these few words, once again, I take the pleasant privilege of inviting the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology to Tamil Nadu and to say heartfelt thanks to Honorable Minister for his gracious presence. And also this thanks and the welcome are on behalf of all the ministries, be it DST, DBT, DSIR and MOES. So this is one great occasion that all the institutions from DST, DBT, MOES and CSIR, we have joined hands with academia and industry. Sir, we look forward to your own suggestions and remarks as well as guidance for the other conclaves also. And you can also really share your thoughts so that whatever we say to our people, it gets endorsed when the Honorable Minister says it louder. Thank you so very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now request our Honorable Minister to virtually inaugurate the Center of Excellence facility of L&T at Kanchipuram. Dr. S. Venkatamohan, Director, CSIR, NEERI, and Mr. K. Rajivan, Vice President and Chief Technology Officer, Water Business L&T, to kindly join us on the dais to exchange the MOU.
Thank you, sirs. Now we shall witness the exchange of MOUs between CSIR and academic institutions and between CSIR and startups as well as industries. May I request the dignitaries from the following academic institutions, startups and industries and the respective business development heads to join us in front of the dais for a photograph, please. Shiv Nadar University, PSG College of Technology, Karunya Institute of Technology and Sciences, Karpagam Academy of Higher Education, Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science, Vellore Institute of Technology, B.S. Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Shanmuga Arts and Science.
Merlin Automation Private Limited, Insolar Energy Limited, Ublify Technologies Private Limited, Bharat Forge Limited, JBT Foams Private Limited, MMM Minnal Murthy Rural Art Gallery and Artistic Tools Manufacturers, Life Winds Leatherwork, Kalaimamani MSP Tangavel Parai Isai Training Academy, Desathendral Gramia Tappata Kalaikulu, Cheran Tudumbatam Kalaikulu, Kalaithendral Teppata Kalaikulu, K. Perumal Gramia Parai Isai Kalaikulu. Thank you all so much. हमारे मुख्य अतिथि माननीय केंद्रीय विज्ञान एवं प्रौद्योगिकी राज्य मंत्री और CSIR के उपाध्यक्ष डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह जी को सभा को संबोधित करने के लिए आमंत्रित करते हैं।
Thank you. For everybody else, this young lady spoke in English. For me, she speaks only in Hindi, because she conveniently believes that I know only Hindi. So I'll pick up from Dr. Kalipati Selvi. Vanakkam, vanakkam to all. Vanakkam, vanakkam, vanakkam. Nee sokyama? Na kunjam kunjam Tamil terima. Na nalla reka? Rombo nalla? Sorry. Na Chennai vana rombo santosham. Na Chennai vidu irka. Tamil Nadu, the land of Tiruvalur, land of MGR, land of Jayalalitha. Seated on the dais, we have our very dynamic Director General, who's made Vanakkam the national greeting. Every time in Delhi, she would start with Vanakkam. Another son of the soil, our very eminent scientist and Secretary Earth Sciences, Dr. Ravi Chandran, Dr. K. Ramesh, Director Sikri, Dr. Anandavali, Director SERC, Dr. K.G. Sriram. I have to apologize to Dr. K. Sriram because the program was conceived by him. So Rambo, sorry, Sriram ji. He arranged twice, and twice I could not make it, my fault. And by that time his term was over. But still we will dedicate his program, if not wholly, at least partly to Sri Ram. Then our newly appointed Director of CLRI, Dr. Thanika Velan. We have our guests, Dr. Sri Ram, Mr. Ujjwal Bhattacharya, Dr. Chokkalingam, Dr. Mr. Giridharan. I know you enjoyed me talking in Tamil. But the problem is, many others were not like that. So they would not understand. So, we'll finish off with that. But each time when I'm in Chennai, it's with a deep sense of homecoming. It's kind of a very nostalgic experience, a kind of a deja vu, because I've spent my most formative years of adolescence living in the city of Chennai. And as youngsters, of course, this place was not like that. It was much, much more homely. Many of the elders would recall, we spent long, long afternoons, humid afternoons of the then Madras, watching the sea waves gently touching the shores of Marine Beach, and then going off to sleep amid the music of the ocean backwaters. We didn't have all this air conditioning at all. And therefore, over the years, much has changed. The Madras of that time was not congested like the Chennai of today. Nor did the Madras of those days knew of these traffic jams which the Chennai of today witnesses. But as they say in English language, much changes and still much remains the same. The Marine Beach is the same, St. Fort George is the same, Indian Ocean is the same, and so also the college to which I went remains the same. And most of all, the CLRI, the Central Leather Research Institute, was an iconic institute, a pride of the country, even at the time of independence, and even today it continues to be. And I am proud that some of the products from CLRI are now of export quality. They have a huge, huge market outside India, and they have now also expanded their activities to other parts of the country, to Punjab, to UP, and other places. And as Dr. Kalai Selvi was saying, in the last 5-10 years, we have tried to come out of silos, become more integrated, become part of the whole of nation growth. And that has been possible because the Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji gives very high priority to Tamil Nadu. You would have seen now the Chola dynasty symbol is there in the new parliament. Because he said if we have to go back to our traditional heritage, nothing better suited than the Asian Chola dynasty or the Chola kings of the then Madras. And if you see the number of welfare schemes which have been rolled out, I was going through the figures while I was coming here. We have this PM Ujjwala Yojana, more than 40 lakh free gas cylinders distributed. PM Swaridhi Yojana, more than 4 lakh street vendors benefited. PM Awas Yojana, where more than 12 lakh houses constructed. 8 Vande Bharat trains in Tamil Nadu. I think more than the number of trains, Vande Bharat trains anywhere in the country or any other state. So that is the kind of preference, priority Tamil Nadu is enjoying. And this is not out of any charity or obligation. It is because you deserve it. The people of Tamil Nadu, they deserve it. What do they say? Tamil people great was the saying, which we grew up saying. Or Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, Tamil Makkal Periya. Is that right? The Tamil people great. So the greatness has now been recognized at the national level. And now this startup conclave, as Dr. Kalai Selvi was mentioning, this also has behind it some kind of a motivation. Because every youth cannot find a government job. And we have to change the mindset. Madras originally was the seat of learning in India. Most academic people hailed from here. All the government services across India, even in the central government, were dominated by Tamilians. But now things have changed. We have other avenues which are better. So how to orient ourselves or reorient ourselves to these new avenues? That is why we have started this series of startup conclaves in different parts of the country. And I am glad that Dr. Kalai Selvi, Dr. Ravi Chandran, they obliged by accepting this suggestion. Also because the startup movement started from Bengaluru, many people believe it is only IT. It is not like that. CLRI is also startup. Leather is also startup. Agriculture also startup. It is not that only AI or IT is startup. So the core Indian domains are also equally lucrative, equally attractive, and much, much more profitable with returns. So that is another myth we want to dispel through these conclaves. Incidentally, under this government, under the Modi government, we have a whole lot of ecosystem. Now I was talking to these artisans who were playing these drums, leather drum. The technology is from CLRI. They have provided them with small, light drums, added value by giving them different colors. Now, if you combine it with a scheme which the government of India has started called PM Vishwakarma Yojana, which means if you want to acquire a profession or a vocation which is traditional in nature, and by doing so, you, on the one hand, serve the civilization and culture of this country by keeping it alive, and at the same time, you make it your source of livelihood. In that case, government will give you special funding. And not only funding, they will also train you. And during the training, they will give you stipend. And for the tools also, they'll give you money. Now, have you heard of such scheme? You get coaching, and for getting coaching, you get money. If it was there in my school, my time, many of us would not have dropped out of schools. At least for stipend, we would have attended. So such a beautiful scheme, but the only thing is, we have to make them aware. There's a whole lot of ecosystem. So I was telling now CLRI is giving them value addition through technology means. Market linkage also we are providing. We have industry friends, that's also we have started. And these artisans can avail of financial resources from other schemes also. So in order to acclimatize them with this whole lot of ecosystem, I'm just giving you one example. There are many other schemes. For youngsters, we have this Mudra scheme, where you can get a loan of 20-40 lakhs without mortgage, without gratuity, without any guarantee. Almost 30 crore youngsters have already availed, and out of that 69% are women. Yes, please, she wants to clap, others are not helping her. Which means, and all these schemes are there available in your mobile. That means women are seeing the kind of things to be seen in the mobiles, males are not seeing. Similarly, startups, we had only 350 or so in 2014. Today we have more than 2 lakh, which have generated 21 lakh jobs, and out of that also, I think about 50-60,000 are women-led startups. So to talk about all these things, the source is same, the gadget is same, there is democratization of opportunity. You don't have to go to a library, you don't have to spend money to go to an office. Everything available on your mobile smartphone. But why some of us are seeing it, others are not seeing? That also we have to understand. If she can see it, why can't I see it? Maybe I'll borrow her spectacles and see through her glasses, which means there is some lack of awareness, some lack of motivation, or some lack of drive. So the change of mindset is something which is most important, because India today already has achieved esteem as far as startups is concerned, as far as entrepreneurship is concerned. Our global innovation index has gone up from 81 to 38. Startups, as I already said, our patent filing rank has gone to 6. Number 6, we have more than 2 lakh patents. And again, more than 55% or nearly 60% are Indian resident patents. They are working in their native places and filing patents, which was not happening earlier. C.V. Raman had to get Nobel Prize, but had to experiment in Calcutta, not in Madras. You remember? Your grandfather remembers. He was a Tamilian, but he started his work in Calcutta because the facility was there in the lab, though he was in the Indian services. Similarly, Hargobind Govind Khurana had to went abroad to do his experiment. There he got Nobel Prize. Today it is no longer so. Many of the diaspora want to come back. If they are not coming back, that is because their families there are not allowing them to come back. They have stayed there for 20 years. But if you give them the choice of profession, they are ready. So this is something we have to tell our children, also the elders. And our recent success stories, whether it is Chandrayaan, whether it is vaccine, whether it is the gene therapy, whether it is nephromycin, the new antibiotic. Very recently, we have come out with the first ever successful gene trial in hemophilia, which is a bleeding disorder. Those from the medical profession will know that, deficiency of clotting factor 8. And we did this trial through the Department of Biotechnology in the Christian Medical College, Vellore. Again, congratulations, Tamil Nadu. So the first ever trial also has come from Tamil Nadu. And we are providing through the other department, the DSC secretary is not here. We have technology innovation hubs created in the recent years, of 25 of them across the country. We have thematic hubs dedicated to National Quantum Mission, other mission. We have Nidhi programs, which is National Initiative for Developing and Harnessing of Innovation. Thereby, we have technology business incubators. So every kind of facility is available. We have to go nowhere. Please make the best use of this small toy that you are carrying in your pocket. Instead of changing your face picture every day, if you pick up one new thing, I am also learning from it only. Because when I went to college or school in Chennai, nothing of this sort was known. There were not even air conditions. We had to take baths 3 times a day to survive across the day. So all this is, we have to be good learners. Everything there at us. I think this is one of the best times. That's why I said I wish I was born today. Because you need to have curiosity. You need to have. And that is why we have this conclave. We have also tried to bring together the industry leaders, the potential hand holders, the potential mentors, the youngsters under the same roof. And I also insisted, I am glad that the organizers agreed that when we have interaction with the startups, we should have at least one guardian or one parent with them. Because unless the parent's mindset is not changed, when he goes home, he will say, you know, who was talking to you? He went to Loyola College. She went to Stella Maris College. She went to Queen Mary's. Dr. Ravi Chandran went to Presidency College. And to you, they are talking all this. You leave them, you go to some coaching center and prepare for admission. So the entire exercise is undone. That is why we have now started this in the last 2-3 years. Combined, not only under one roof, you bring all the stakeholders, also bring their guardians, their mentors, their parents. Because unless this is a wholesome effort, we will not be able to make the best use of it. Otherwise, this entire exercise will go a waste. But I must compliment all the institutes, the people of Tamil Nadu. Such a huge response. I was told we have 110 stalls, and many of the proposals could not be accepted because there was so much of rush and we didn't have space. And this conclave is as big as one of the very successful conclaves that we held last year in the Bharat Mandapam venue of New Delhi. So you can understand. So one of the new beginnings we are making from the city of Chennai. But the point also to remember is that I was going through the figures. Chennai has about 12,000 to 3,000 registered startups in the central government, the DPPIT. Whereas the state government also has registered about 20. That means totally you don't have more than 35,000, which is not a very satisfying figure. The kind of academic potential that this place has, innovative potential, this is a land of Thiruvalur, this is a land of academicians, land of Radhakrishnan, land of C.V. Raman, and we have only out of 2 lakh, we are contributing from Tamil Nadu only 34,000. And we have very, very vibrantly growing ecosystem here. At least 2 cities, the city of Chennai and the city of the city of Coimbatore, they are, I think, better off than many other cities as far as their startup potential. Then we have to therefore ask ourselves, maybe we are not exploiting our potential to the maximum extent. And from that point of view, we will also request the state government to coordinate more closely with the because Prime Minister Modi is very much forthcoming. We are able to avail of all the help that is being provided by the center. I think the state could be one of the leading contributors in this entire total figure of 2 lakhs of startups in the whole of India today. Thank you very much.
மதிப்பிற்குரிய மந்திரி அவர்களுக்கு எங்களுடைய மனமார்ந்த நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். May I now request Dr. N. Kalaiselvi, Director General CSIR. May I now request Dr. N. Kalaiselvi, Director General CSIR, to honor our Chief Guest, Honorable Union Minister, with a memento, please.
we now invite Dr. K. Ramesha, Director CSIR Sikri, to present a memento to Dr. Chokkalingam Karupaya as a token of gratitude.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Dr. N. Andavalli, Director CSIR SERC, to present a memento to Shri Ujwal Kanti Bhattacharya for his gracious presence.
Thank you, ma'am. We now request Dr. P. Thanigaivelan, Director CSIR CLRI, to present a memento to Dr. R. Sriram for his gracious presence.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. K.J. Sriram, Scientist H at CSIR CLRI, to present a memento to Mr. Giridharan for joining us on this occasion today. Thank you, sir. May I now invite Dr. P. Thanigaivelan, Director CSIR CLRI, to deliver the vote of thanks, please.
Our most beloved and most respected Honorable Minister, distinguished dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, esteemed industry leaders, my dear colleagues from CSIR Labs, academia, startups, members of the press and media, students, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to express our gratitude and thankfulness at this inspiring inaugural session. At the outset, I express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Union Minister of State for Science and Technology, Earth Sciences, and Minister of State for PMO, Personal Public Grievances and Pensions, Atomic Energy and Space, for his visionary and motivating address. Sir, your encouragement for innovation-driven growth, startup empowerment, whole-of-government approach, and technology translation has energized all of us and will remain a guiding force for this conclave. Thank you, sir. We are deeply thankful Dr. Kalaiselvi, Director General CSIR, Secretary DSIR, for her presidential address and for continuously steering CSIR towards societal impact and industry relevance. Thank you, ma'am. Our sincere thanks to Dr. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, for his inaugural address, emphasizing the national mission's innovation and collaborative science. Thank you so much, sir. I also thank our fellow directors, Dr. Anandali, Dr. Ramesha, for clearly presenting the vision of the conclave and the strength of the Industry Institute Academia partnerships. My special appreciation to Dr. K.J. Sriram, former director, outstanding scientist, for the warm welcome address and set the tone of today's gathering. Thank you. I thank all the directors of our sister labs, former directors, as well as vice chancellors of various universities, for their active participation and contribution to this conclave. We gratefully acknowledge our industry leaders, Dr. Sriram, Dr. Ujwal Kanti Bhattacharya, Dr. Chokkalingam Karupaya, and Sri Giridharan for strengthening this collaborative ecosystem. Thank you, sirs. Our sincere thanks to all partner institutions and industries for the MOU exchanges, and to Larsen and Toubro for the virtual inauguration of the Center of Excellence, a significant milestones in translation research. I extend special appreciation to the press and media fraternity for their presence and for carrying the message of science, innovation, translation, and national development to society at large. Thank you, all the press and media. Finally, I thank the organizing teams, volunteers, technical staff, students, and every participant who made this event successful and possible. And a special thanks to all the startups and MSMEs exhibitors who will now showcase their innovation at the expo, specifically our other governmental departments like DSIR, DBT, DST, IGGR, MOES, NIOT, IMD, all the university startup incubation centers, IIT Research Park, etc. So with gratitude to all of you, I conclude by wishing the conclave a great success in transforming science into scalable technology and societal benefit. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. With this, the inaugural function of the RISE Conclave 2026 comes to a close. May I now request the dignitaries to kindly proceed for the inauguration of the Startup Expo. Request all the dignitaries for a group photograph, please. I request the media team to go to the media room for the press brief with the minister.
wait. Wait. No. Auto. Lower him, sir.
innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation.
So 8 உள்ளதா இருக்கீங்க ஓகே நான் இந்த ஸ்டால்ல ஃபாலோ பண்ணுறேன்.
India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation.
ஃபைவ் உள்ள ஆமாம் சின்ன ஸ்டால் நம்மள தூங்க முடியாது அஞ்சு ஆமாண்ணா சின்னதாக இருக்கு ஆமாம் இப்போ 8 ஃபாலோ பண்ணிருக்கோம். அடுத்த ஸ்டாலில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எயிட் உள்ள இருக்காருண்ணா. நான் மெட்டீரியல் மட்டும் பேசுகிறேன். அடுத்து நான் ராஜு கொஞ்சம் சைடில் வந்துருக்கு. நான் மெட்டு ஃபாலோ பண்ணி கொஞ்சம் சைடில் வரீங்களா?
இந்த சைட்லேருந்து எடுத்துக்க, இங்கேருந்து எடுத்துக்க.
பேக் சொல்லலாம். ஒரு ஆட்டில் போட்டுங்க. ஆமாம். ஓகேண்ணா. 6 நாள் ஒரு 6 நம்ம எதிர்பார்த்துக்கிறாங்க. ஓகே. உள்ள 8th இருக்கு. கிஷோர் எக்ஸ்போஜரா கம்மி பண்ணிக்கோ. நான் இருக்கேன், வரலன்னா நீ அடுத்த ஸ்டாலில் இருக்கு. நான் இங்கே இருக்கீங்க. சரி. நான் இருக்கேன் 5 இருக்கேன் உள்ள.
உள்ள போயிருக்கீங்களா?
நான் வந்து சொல்லிட்டேன் எப்படி போகணும் என்னன்னு போய் இவ்வளோ விஷயம் இருக்கானே அதனால தான் ஸ்பான்சர் இது மினிஸ்டரில் இளைஞரணி பொதுச்செயலாளர் அவருக்கு மட்டும் ஒரு இடம் கேட்டுருந்தா
நான் 5 ஃபாலோ பண்ணுறேன். நான் தள்ளி வந்து ப்ரோ நம்ம ஆளுங்க தள்ளி வந்துருங்க ப்ரோ. தள்ளி வந்துருங்க.
Technology, we are making water from air and other mixed
ஃப்ரெண்ட்ல யாரை பொறுப்பு யார் இருக்கா ஃப்ரெண்ட்ல? ஓகே ஓகே ஒருத்தர் ஃபைவ் ஃபாலோ பண்ணுறேன் ப்ரோ. நீங்கள் அங்கே போயிடுங்க நான் ஃபாலோ பண்ணுறேன். நான் 5 ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டுருக்கேண்ணா ப்ரோ. டிஸ்கவுண்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு ப்ரோ. ப்ரோ சாரி. லைவ் போயிட்டு அவ்வளோதான் போயிட்டு வரேன். டைம் ப்ரோ. முன்னாடி அது மாதிரி இருக்கீங்களா ப்ரோ? நான் முன்னாடி மாட்டிக்கிட்டேன்.
டாக் பாக் போயிடுச்சு பாரு. டாக் பாக் போயிடுச்சு பாரு. எல்லாத்துக்குமா இங்கே போகிறாரு? ஒரே இடத்துல போயிட்டு போயிட்டா. ப்ரோ எடுத்துட்டு அவங்க தள்ளி வந்துடும். நான் கொஞ்சம் நேரத்துக்காக தள்ளி வந்துருங்க. லைவ் போகுதுண்ணா அம்மாவுக்கு தான். தேங்க்யூண்ணா. தேங்க்ஸ்ண்ணா.
சார்ஜ் இல்லையா? அது இல்லை, சிக்னல் போயிடுச்சு. இல்லை, எல்லாருமே போச்சு, கட் ஆயிடுச்சு. கொஞ்சம் மேம் சைட் மேம்.
ஆக்ஷன் அவருக்கே கிடையாது. அவன் கால் பண்ணுறேன், நான் எது கொண்டு போனேன்.
ப்ரோ லிட்டில் பேக் ப்ரோ, ஜூம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம் ப்ரோ. கொஞ்சம் டாப்ல வேணா ப்ரோ, ஒரே ஆங்கிள் தான். நான் பார்த்துட்டு
India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation.
We could be doing much more, and we would also then coordinate with the state government and urge upon them also, so that whole of government concept, which includes the efforts of the Modi government along with the efforts of the state government and also the private sector. We have recently rolled out, in fact, Prime Minister Modi himself announced 1 lakh crore RDI fund for certain level of entrepreneurs to be accelerated in the private sector, the TL4 level. And similarly for startups, we have only yesterday, after moving over to the new offices of the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi took 2 or 3 important decisions, amongst which one was the rupees 10,000 crore funding for deep tech startups. And similarly in CSIR also, for the deep tech startups, we have relaxed the provision of sustaining themselves for 3 years before qualifying for government financial support. So not many enabling provisions are being provided by the government side, and the prioritization is from the Prime Minister, who spoke about it more than once from the Red Fort. And as I said yesterday, one of the first 3 decisions, the first 3 orders signed by him after moving to his new office was related to the startups. And we holding this conclave in Chennai also is an indication of the huge, huge potential that lies in this ancient land.
सर चेन्नई में आपने कहा चेन्नई और कोयम्बटूर में काफी सारे स्टार्टअप्स हैं
And out of and these 2 lakh are possibly creating jobs to the tune of 21 lakh jobs. And you will be amused to know that almost 50% come from smaller towns, B towns. So what I meant was that Chennai and Coimbatore are 2 most vibrant ecosystem towns. Not that the startups come only from these 2 places. Startups are coming from even Salem, even coming from Tanjavur, even coming from Kanyakumari. And every information and every enabling scheme is available on your smartphone. So I would just urge upon the youngsters through you that there's a huge democratization of opportunities taking place under the Modi government. You don't have to spend any money, you don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to spend your time and energy. Everything available on your mobile, and you can create an ecosystem. You saw outside this Leather Institute in Madras has come out with beating drums. And these beating drums could be combined with another Modi scheme called the PM Vishwakarma, where they are providing funding for traditional vocational domains, where the civilizational domains are also cultivated, and it also becomes a source of livelihood. And funding, which is of course there is no liability on that, but they also give you training. And they also provide toolkits. So I would request to you that all of us should avail of that. The entire ecosystem is there, where everyone would have some support system available for him or herself.
सर इसी इंटायर इकोसिस्टम की बात करें तो सर आप अभी जो यहाँ पे राइज हो रहा है ये सिर्फ तमिलनाडु के स्टार्टअप हैं क्या आने वाले
ऐसा नहीं है। ये इसमें क्या है कि हर क्षेत्र में जाकर कॉन्क्लेव हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये चेन्नई में तो स्वाभाविक है कि आसपास के क्षेत्रों के ज्यादा।
क्या आने वाले दिनों में ऐसा देखने को मिलेगा कि दिल्ली या फिर यूपी वहाँ के स्टार्टअप जो हैं तमिलनाडु में भी आकर के अपना स्टॉल लगाएं?
हो गया, दिल्ली हो गया, चंडीगढ़ हो गया, जम्मू हो गया, लखनऊ हो गया। इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ कि सारा कुछ वेबसाइट पर अवेलेबल है। Timeline is 2027.
No, but the recent ad hoc was also postponed.
It's notwithstanding everything. Final test flight, which will be a robo flight carrying a female rover called Biometer, will possibly happen before the end of this year, and Gaganyaan next year. So all the flights are scheduled. We have 18 launches in 2026. Not a single launch has been cancelled. Out of that, we have 6 private parties. They have also not withdrawn. So ISRO's confidence is intact, credibility is intact, and PSL will also very soon, maybe next few months, will relaunch the same. If we are doing the appraisals, if it all goes according to our timeline, maybe by June or July.
So what is the purpose of Ajitoval's visit to VSS?
India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation.
One submission when it comes to commercialization, especially in the defense industry, what happens is that the timeline is huge. So from the back to the field, we are able to accelerate the technology. No, I cannot say we are working on it. So we have structures in place where you don't have to go randomly looking for the industry. And then finally, I would rather suggest that you are wrong, that we go starting with the itself, we should make it. We feel very proud of having done something new. Trying to have an early industry now some of these innovations which are there in the years. Since you are not some support of CSIR and CSIR and sitting there, so release CSIR. You think of CSIR as one small component of a bigger ecosystem. Then you have over 25 innovation concepts, then 5 unity hubs. They are providing the access, they are providing the technology transfer, they are providing. So, go to them also. You get their support and more analysis, and you also get another. So that you don't have to work every day because then you could have wasted your time and energy and money. Why is not there? No, you are right. You can get on. Other things are necessarily clear and say, I will see. But that is online. Yes. So you should have something available online on real time. It's not that you have to wait for the game to happen. You should have the liberty of physical presence. So that all these things are available online. So try to also, we have to just get used to this.
Sir, I would like to say something. So 5 years ago, we came to CLR. 5 years ago, we came to CLR and we developed innovation. We made the manpower leather. Now this kind of innovation is going internationally. So we are working in France, Europe, and
so what you can you meet others for your experience.
yes, sir, that's what we are also. Yeah.
Data of that for the industry.
Yeah. So what happens, sir? You are right. That innovation is coming with the support of CSIR. As a startup, our goal was to go international. But our innovation and technology should be there at the level that they accept us. Now, all international brands like they are asking us for material. That is a yeah. The materials are
India's India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors, and policymakers onto one platform. Be part of the journey towards a Viksit Bharat through innovation. India's innovation ecosystem is coming together like never before. RISE Conclave 2026 brings researchers, industry leaders, startups, investors.
Support or that kind of supply happening. She didn't know how to develop, and then she brought the place for the technology.
Yeah.
So that is another matter.
Exactly, sir.
That is a very sustainable thing. That is another way of coming from behind to front. So if you do that, it could also be successful because then the industry is there. And secondly, if you are into this project like he, you can also ask the industry to become partner your management.
So we are actually
They can also finance your projects, if not only to some extent, depending on the future. Then their stakes will.
Sir, as you said, right now, if after the technology which you have developed, you have spent 2-3 crore on it. Now we are investing 15 crore to set up a manufacturing plant. But we are getting 11 partners because now you are getting this sign in Europe. So now they are looking for the technology from us.
So now, I think this what he is saying, you share with others. They should learn from your experience.
So,
and now that the foreign investment is also, FDI also is being involved, we are also making the sector also. So there is a lot of now these successful space startups, they are getting huge international funding.
The one thing is that I've seen with CSIR is that technology as and when that happens, it's slowly getting easy for investors.
CSIR has now presently any kind of technology which is in all domains. So the 37 labs are dedicated to it. So if you take this route which she has taken, just go around the market, आपको कहते हैं आपको कहीं इस किस्म का मार्ग के अंदर ये डाला फिर ढूंढने लगे कौन डालता है फिर उन्हें ढूंढा ये डाला So that is also what you have to be good entrepreneur skill also.
Namaste, sir.
I'm in industry. CSIR. Yeah, CSIR and defense. And we will between say different bunkers for protecting weapons, aircrafts and stuff like that. But CSIR is organized and we were able to license that. And now we are deploying that technology. What we realize is there are lots of different technologies like various scientific labs all across the country. And it's for us,
maybe they are underutilized.
they are very underutilized, what I would say, because we are already building bunkers in very conventional methods, which were very time consuming.
So that is one important aspect of awareness.
Yes.
Even the awareness among the potential users or potential industry partners was lacking. Presenting industry. He said we are already into this, but we didn't know that we have some means of valuation.
Yes, it's an indigenous technology.
For us, I think that's a lesson for us.
Exactly.
That's a lesson for us also. How we have started this.
Just one thing.
Holding these Conclave at different places, going to webinars. Earlier, we were not able to do so much as we are doing now. So we also need to reach out.
I just like to add how our first one of the scientists was talking about yeah, one of the scientists was talking about technology. So when I met her after the presentation that we were interested in this technology, we reached CSIR, and then when we reached CSIR, we found another technology. So actually, it's about
I think very important lesson for us.
Yeah.
For those who are looking after all these institutes, that we have to reach out. We have the potential takers waiting.
Yes.
But they don't know. They don't know that they don't know. And we are not in a position to make them know. So that what lies with us. But I think since you want to know random, you came across a call. We should have, we can have institutes like, what we can do, we can pick up sector roles, like in several roles. So you decide it on social media. So look here, on so and so day, you will have one kind of web shop pertaining to this sector. All those who are interested in the industry, potential industry takers also would take part. So this would be one.
Now we are planning for a stakeholder. Now we are planning for a stakeholder council meet. This we are planning once in 3 months quarterly. In the first meeting we are planning sometimes in March, April. From there we are planning for a regular annual schedule.
They are all busy.
Yeah.
Industry is more busy than the government. So, if you have after 3 months, you think I know what they are doing. If you say specifically for those engaged in the business of constructing bunkers or defense activities, we are going to then they will attract
very specific. One small suggestion. What happens is the scientists have made some very innovative technology, but the application is not very clear. So some interaction with the industry kind of places encouraged, because then applications will come out. That's how you know how.
I'm insisting that without industry you won't hold anything.
Sir.
Yeah, वहाँ थोड़ी देर टाइम वेट.
Sir. Can I? Sir, we are.
We started collaboration with CSIR CP in 2017, and for last 10 years we have been working on the X-ray machine that you see at airports. Today I'm happy to say that our machines have replaced foreign OEMs, and the machines are in Prime Minister's office, Prime Minister's home, then Rashtrapati Bhavan, Supreme Court. So all the key sectors we have installed.
Here also, on your machine.
Yes. Who is there? Yes.
So you have to do it more prominently so that more takers get to know. Now the point here is that since CSIR is the government agency, that question didn't come to us. But if it was a private, they would themselves go to check where the machine is installed. Whether the passerby is able to see. So we also have to learn new things from the private sector has to learn from us. When coming out of silos does not be only sitting together and speak about it. We have to adopt the practice mindset. If I was the private sector, CSIR, then I would go and see myself at the airport. Oh, there is my logo. My logo is written immediately. I look like you have not put my logo.
And actually, our PDGs started checking. No, our PDGs we have insisted, and we found out. No, in your case, why I am very particular is Honorable Prime Minister is the president of CSIR Society also. So even on the CSIR logo is there, even more convincing remarks by the Prime Minister being the president of CSIR.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Sir, they have even ensured that it is displayed more prominently. Not only from the point of view of profitability, also that the others are also benefiting.
Sir, I want
one thing. Sir, we are a
confidence building also.
Sir, we are a cell manufacturer. We are a lithium and technology company. Actually, 3.5 years ago, we started the R&D, and then we had a very big problem with the machines. And actually, because we started working with Secretary, especially the Karikudi team, we got able to overcome that. And now we are actually developing some of the best technologies in the world, competing with the Chinese manufacturers, especially in the high power area. We're actually working with the defense also. I have a humble submission, sir, because we have working with this defense. Now everybody knows the Chinese prices, which people will say LFP is $48 per kilowatt hour. Now the problem is, sir, if you are doing a very small volume in India, the prices will be very high. Do you think, sir, there is some help we can get from SECRI institutions? I know there are very beautiful facilities, even in Chennai, in Karikudi. Any way startups can get a concession in doing so that we can take part in these big tenders? No, sir. When it comes to the defense kind of application, the battery packs will be limited. Let's say for our Arjuna tanks, it will be one time tender will be 100 packs. That's somewhere around 4,000 cells. Now, making that in our own factory, we have a small factory in Coimbatore, will be $48 per kilowatt hour, will go to $1,500 per kilowatt hour. We have to make lakhs of cells per day to meet this price. So, if
you can even talk to technology development group, because recently technology development group supported one of the increased stakeholder to the tune of 100 crore.
That is why I was saying, you are a lot of ecosystem. You please go through that, study that properly, then come to us.
Sure, sir.
Because possibilities, you have not read that. You are talking, because that is why I am saying again and again, mindset. If you have read that and then talk, we have everything in place. And people are availing of it.
Yes.
Also, I would advise you should go to some successful startups. Go to this site, go to how they have generated money. Thousands of crores. Similarly, as I am saying, we have technology development board, we have BIREC for biotechnology, we have other funding areas also. Plus the industry partner. Then we have the, as Dr. Vijay Singh, about Prime Minister recently announced the RDI fund, 1 lakh crore. There also, once you reach the transfer level 4, you can avail of that. So everything is available. Only thing we are depending on random information, as happened in this case. But that we also have to change it. I agree. Our people will also have to.
Sir, as you said, what if we want to use the underutilized asset of CLI? For example, I'm from Ahmedabad. There is an institute which is shut down almost. There is no work going on. So if we are investing heavily to set up the infrastructure, can we ask a proposal to work there, because it's not.
No, if you have good quality accessibility, certainly that will not be shut down. It is shut down because of the single process. So this mismatch.
ये जो आपको शेरो शायरी का शौक है और पुराने गानों का, ये कहाँ से?
Balaji, Director, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. Dr. S. Vaidya Subramaniam, Vice Chancellor, Sastra Deemed University, Tanjavur. Dr. R. Sriram, Founder and Chairman, Sai Supreme Holding Company, Pondicherry. Shri Ujwal Kanti Bhattacharya, Managing Director, Steege Energy Services India Private Limited, and former Director and Board Member, NTPC Limited. We are indeed deeply privileged to have such an eminent and diverse panel representing policy, research, academia, and industry. With this formal introduction, I now request Ms. U. Tejun Mayam to kindly take over the proceedings and moderate this important panel discussion. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all feel energized after that tea break, because we have an exceptional mix of people here who will talk to us about how partnerships and collaborations can be more meaningful and how we can create societal impact. But before we start this discussion, I want to give a bit of a perspective. We often talk about research, innovation, startups, growth, but we know that these don't happen in isolation. Academic institutions, universities, they generate knowledge, research institutes deepen it, and the industry turns them into something that people can actually use. But somewhere between the lab and the market, there's often a gap. Today we have with us policymakers, we have with us leaders from the academia, we have our industry experts who will tell us how we can close that gap, how we can work together and work together and not just formally but also create more meaningfully rather. I hope they'll also tell us more about what's working on the ground and what's not, and what can be changed. I'll just start with Dr. Ravichandran. I have a very basic question for you, sir, but it's a very important question. Despite policies and partnerships, collaborations often fall short. Where does it actually break down today? Is it funding, timelines, incentives, or trust?
Good afternoon. Basically, when compared to from my ministry, basically the information, the collaboration breakdown or collaboration is started mainly because of the information or communication. It is not only information, it is a communication. For example, many of the people doesn't know what are we can offer, and we also doesn't know what we can get it from them. So I personally feel the communication gap between the ministry as well as various startup or industry system, because industry may not be knowing what our ministry need. Similarly, where we have to tap the potential. So I personally feel communication, but otherwise there is no what is called funding or any other issue is not come into picture.
Kalesalu ma'am, do you have anything to say?
So thank you. Good evening, all of you. In my opinion, collaboration, if you want to have a real collaboration, first of all, there should be a mutual trust. If at all there is a lack of trust in any form, collaboration will not be long-standing or sustainable. So number first thing is, it is the trust. And second one is determination to work with the agreed party. That is also second thing. And the third one, I would say, from the research point of view today and in the recent times also, I keep understanding and learning that we always lift our collar up and proudly say that we are the knowledge partners. I think now time has come, CSIR labs and all the scientists from all the ministries, we should not only identify ourselves as knowledge partners, when we want to import this knowledge or impart this knowledge to industry, we should be in a position to just point out some kind of a funding agency also. You can say for knowledge, I'm here. If you want funding, he is the person who will be your funding agency. If we are able to do both, I think more and more industries' confidence will be won over by the researchers. So I think we should also come one step, I would say extra step in front of us, and then the industry will start believing us. So this is only to have the trust building.
Do our industry friends have anything to say?
I have seen this point from industry side when I was in NTPC. I have seen it for last almost 3 years that I am chairman of the Research Council of CSIR, CSIR, understanding their side. Also, I am now exposed to the German ecosystem because I am in a 100% German-owned company. My clarity about this is, while endorsing both Mr. Ravichandran and Madam Karisuli fully, I think that beyond trust and what you said, Mr. Ravichandran said, there is a misalignment in expectations. There are stakeholders, in any startup or research system, there will be definitely 4 special stakeholders. If the objective of each are not meeting to the ultimate objective, it will never happen. So misalignment of this expectation is different. Industry wants a market-ready product. It can never happen. Industry has to take risk and spend for it. They don't do. At least Indian industry are very risk-averse. They want everything on a platter. From institute side or educational side or CSIR side, their objectives are not to make it happen, speed to market, all these things are not part of their alignment. They want something to be done, research paper to be published, and their purpose is served, practically. Now, with the new paradigm, things are changing. I am seeing that in last over 3 years, things have changed a lot. Then comes the issue of that there is a funding valley of death. Between the lab to land, there is a big investment required. And that's where everybody takes their hand away. These are the 3 fundamental things I believe are behind it.
Hello. Thank you. My name is Sriram. Now, I have a bit of a perspective because I operate from London internationally, and I also have a factory here. One of the things which I feel would be very, very good is for a partnership between universities and industry and the research lab. When you look at Google, Google was founded in the University of Stanford. And that really created one of the best companies in the world. Similarly, if you looked at Bose at MIT, and what really happened, which Madam Secretary has talked about, is the funding. Now, Google gave shares to the University of Stanford, which was worth $400 million. And that really has helped the University of Stanford also. Similarly, the equity in Bose was given to MIT, a very large part of it. So as far as the ideas is concerned, I feel it's great, but unless you can take it to the market, and the market means that you need the funding, and without the funding, you can't take it to the market. And so the point is a collaboration between universities, between industry, between scientific organization like CSIR, which is one of the most amazing institutes I've ever seen. So there's a joint collaboration that is really necessary, which will help India grow. Because what is the point in having, some of the best brains in India and running Google? You want them to be running, trillion-dollar companies in this country. And that kind of collaboration can come only with the great temples of learning, like IITs, the IIMs, the IS, Indian Institute of Science. So that's what I feel has got to be a joint collaboration. Thank you.
I'll just add a couple of points from a startup point of view. I think a lot of great points made. And one thing about industry needing things in a platter given to them, I think I would like to differ in the case of startup. In a startup company, they are ready to take risk. They're ready to work with institutes and academic institutions to jointly develop that and take that risk. So they're not waiting for the platter to be given, right, in a product. So that's one. The other one is whenever the startup is looking for technologies, typically if it's a VC invested company, one of the key points that always comes up is the intellectual property ownership. So this is something that I think we collectively have to work together to see how do we solve this problem. So there are a couple of ways we had solved, and there's a very successful project that we did with CSIR where we had solved it. And there's also another way of solving it where if a startup is looking at a particular technology, the same material, same technology can be used for other applications. So there's a way of joint ownership with a field of use application. So we have had that type of approach as well, being successful. So I can understand the institutions have invested in a lot of background IP, so there has to be a joint ownership. So the field of use is a good way to enable that collaboration, especially from a startup point of view.
So just adding to this, I would like to, since I come from academia, I would say the first point is clarity. That's what he also was talking about, like we immediately pounce onto generic MOUs rather than on specific outcomes. What are we expecting out of these negotiations or interactions? That need to be made more clear. Second, I would also touch upon the IP point, which Sir rightly stated upon, because now due to ranking and other innovation ecosystems, in academia also is under a compulsion that we should also produce a lot of IPs. So the competition for generating or owning IP needs more clarity. Second, the clock. I would say the timeline upon which the academia works and the industry works is completely two different worlds. Industry works in sprints where we work in semesters. So these are all some points or some discussion points which we need to look upon to have a successful industry academia journey. And finally, my submission to industry friends is they should have more empathy towards academia so that we could also, in case if they bear with some of the glitches which we possess because of our ecosystem, then I think this relationship will blossom.
My next question, right now we spoke about how trust and funding is key in all these collaborations. But my next question is for our friends from the academia. Do universities produce students, or do they train students for today's industry? Because industry wants skills that meet their demands, their immediate demands. So.
Thank you. Good evening. Now, this is a question that's often asked in many panel discussions. And if you expect an answer with some brutal honesty, I would say that, today the academic institutions are pressurized on both the extremes, especially higher education institutions. They are expected to deliver within a period of 3 years, 4 years, or maximum 5 years of the duration of the program, and prepare students who come out of, I'm not generalizing this, but we see majority cases of a failed schooling system. And on the other extreme, we have an extremely aspirational industry. So between these two extremes is a higher education institution that has to actually do a lot of unlearning, and then some foundational learning, and then next-gen learning for the industry. And all this has to happen within 4 years, which is definitely a big task, not doable easily. So at the same time, we are mindful of the responsibilities that we have, and we cannot say that, we're going to outsource some of those responsibilities to the industry, or just prepare these students who come out of high school with just minimum knowledge. So we shouldn't have a minimalist approach. So I have felt that there is today a broader understanding, given the multidisciplinarity, the way in which education institutions are designing their programs and preparing the students. All said and then, there is certain foundational skill set that has to go into the student. And today, if I'm saying foundational, it also means AI and other foundational skills. So there are some emerging foundational skill set requirement that cuts across all degree programs. Now, institutions, higher education institutions must identify those foundational skill set across degree programs and make sure they don't compromise on the integrity of the delivery of such skill sets, and then prepare students for career track programs based on industry requirements and have industry as a hand-holding partner. And today there are pathways to do that. Industry people also can send their resources as professor of practice, and there are many such avenues that can be done. So we are now entering into an orbit of implementation where it has to be a collaborative effort. Just as we saw a little time back, how this consortia-based approach that CSIR has taken the lead to bring all institutions together. Now this consortia has to develop another level of coherent synergy where the industry, the academia, and other stakeholders can collectivize and contribute to the gap that you're trying to address. Because as an individual, as an institution standing alone to prepare graduates for industry requirements is definitely not possible. And if we think that it is possible, you will again be asking the same question next time when we meet. So it has to be a coherent synergy, all of us getting together, and then let us know what our limitations are, and let us understand our partner's strength. And when these two meet, definitely outcome is achieved.
So in seconding to what VC said, that's what I was also sharing with you. When we enter into the recruitment stage, we have around 300, 400 recruiters coming up with 300, 400 JDs. So we cannot have a single pathway for training the students to cater to all those different JDs. So as an educational institution, what we focus on is, as he said, we focus on strengthening their foundations. When I say foundation, I would elaborate on science, math, logic, ethics, the emerging technologies, and the different avenues where we incorporate these kind of, where we take efforts to close the gap is, nowadays, most of the institutions have autonomy. So what they have done is they have incorporated global certifications into their curricula. We have industry people, as he rightly pointed out, in positions of professor of practice as well. We have industry advisory councils. We have a mandatory industry person representing our board of governance. So these are all the places where we touch base with industry, because we too understand and realize that 80 to 85% of our workforce is going to industry. So we cannot keep industry out of our educational system. But educational institution, objective of any student need not to be only catering to industry requirement. He can also venture into research. He can also aspire for higher education. Now the innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystems have become so popular. So we have to come up with a generic curriculum where we try to take all effort to satisfy the requirements of industries to a certain extent. But the honest answer is, we cannot train the graduates within the campus for industry ready, but we can give you the material which will be easily trainable.
May I, although I'm not from academia, I'll again look at my own experience. See, university gives you degree, and degree teaches you the theory. That is very important. Without that theory, you are nowhere. But what industry needs is the practice, and the exposure only makes that ready. Okay. Now, if I look back my own days in 1980s, 81, when I was in engineering college, we have done that missile-guided system. Mr. Kalam was not Kalam at that time. He and Mr. Saraswat used to come to our college. I remember those days. Mr. Saraswat still remembers. So they used to tell, give it to Jadavpur University, everything will be done. Now, what was the difference? If I see, we had a lab, and the lab have lots of simulation tools and everything. See, this microcomputer was unheard of in those days. We had Zilog 80 kits. We used to assemble, disassemble, and all these things. Today's universities, I'm sure with a lot of respect to all the universities, may or may not updating their labs appropriately. That is one. Because when we recruit people in the industry, we find the kind of questions they are not able to answer. And if we ask them something beyond this thing, even best of the guys, the GATE, high score, GATE, they don't know anything beyond the theory. So there was one thing which was done by Government of India long ago, apprenticeship. Can we bring back that concept? I was discussing with Madam today itself. If you remember, during the startup meeting, a lady was raising that question at the last phase, that when you go to China, we find their workers are taken to training for a year in actual machines. And then only they are given degree and allowed to work. In India, it is not there. She was lamenting. I told you, come to this, you will get an answer during the panel discussions. That kind of thing is to be done. I have tied up with one college in Kerala, Rajagiri. You must be knowing that college. It's a Christian college. You are tied up with them. We are taking graduates from them. We are training them for 1 year, including simulation, including practical training, sending to site with a guaranteed job. Now I started to do the diploma for the same thing. I didn't get people who are ready to. So that kind of thing, why should it not happen? Because you are not making a credit point of this type of activities as mandatory before you give the bachelor's degree. Don't give the degree unless they have certain credit points of this type. That is my suggestion.
Good that you raised this point, but for the sake of policy clarity, just recently, 3 months back, there was a UGC regulation, guideline that has announced as